very rarely got to participate in anything really cool. But now there are like entire skink districts in certain cities. And there's like a lot of mysterious stuff going on because of the Seraphon. Like a lot of the skinks in one of this, I think it's in Hammerhall, but one of the major cities is actually having like problems because the skink cult there has been actively like looking for like people that they think won't be missed or like bad people. And they'll kidnap them and sacrifice them to Sotek, and then blame it on one of the other cults in the city.
Olympus, I accept this message.
So, like, the skinks have been like, when they sacrifice someone, instead of just sacrificing them and then, like, being done with it, they'll sacrifice someone to Sotek, and then they'll take their corpse and carve all of the runic symbols that the Daughters of Cain use. And then like throw their corpses into like a ditch or something, so that people find the corpses and they're like, oh, the Daughters of Cain are like murdering poor people and like killing people in the city. And the Lizardmen are like, oh yeah, that's terrible. we should sanction them. I love that storyline. I'm glad like the Lizardmen are playing clever in Civilization.
Charon's offerings ahead, I guess.
Hopefully Charon will let me steal from him. Yes, we can fight Charon. Awesome. We're absolutely going to do that.
Fish. I am victorious. I'll take this one. Teamwork. Wow, thank you, Charon. Sorry.
I hope we get more stories of Saurus interacting with other races. Yeah, so far it's mainly just been skinks. But I imagine Saurus are like part of the garrisons. Well, I think my favorite part that they introduced as an aspect of the story for that was that like the Daughters of Cain aren't even like 100% sure that like they're not the ones doing the sacrifices. Like, they get accused of the sacrifices, and they're like, no, we didn't. Did we? Like, that's basically their reaction. Which I love that. Like, because, you know, they're a murder cult, so they kind of have a hard time keeping tabs on all of their, like, different assassins and stuff. Which I find just really funny. Like, the Daughters of Cain, like, they're suspicious about it. And, like, some among their number are trying to figure out who's actually behind it because they don't like getting blamed for it. But they're just not 100% sure what's going on. Because they're like, who would be so bold as to impersonate us? Us! Like, we're the scariest faction in this city. And the Seraphon are like, oh, that's cute.
No.
Ow. Jesus, I keep missing. Oh, I can't even get to my crystal there. There we go. Dionysus! Ah, dang. Almost there, almost there. Die, 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 die. Ow.
Not now.
Okay, there we go. We got him.
No hard feelings, right? Oh, for me.
I'm sure having a 10-foot croc backing you up makes the skinks a lot more bold, yeah.
That's a deal.
I love the idea of like the skinks having more goofy jobs.
Barge of death.
Like, could you imagine like there's like a pub that's run by skinks, except for the bouncer's like a frickin' Croxagore. Like some dude's like mouthing off, and he feels a hand on his shoulder, and it's just like a 14-foot crocodile monster being like, "All right, buddy, that's enough." Croxagore waiters with skink bouncers. They have chameleon skink bouncers. So you're just mousing off, and then you hear a boop, and then you're like, ah, something stung me, and then you just pass out. We are in the danger zone. Okay, we got through it.
You've become a right accomplished vermin hunter, Zagreus. Maybe you'll get to use those skills against worthier creatures soon enough.
Interesting.
Ooh!
Let's hunt some dead.
Yeah, I genuinely love the lore of AOS. Like, don't get me wrong, it completely sucked ass when it started. But man, has it come a long way.
Cheers, mate.
I guess After Party would be kind of good right now.
Sale price. Delicious.
Mobile Stegodon bar? I feel like a Stegodon might be a little too dangerous for a bar. I'd probably go with a Bastillodon. You know, it's a little lower to the ground. Bastillodons are a lot more chill. Oh, butts.
We're not finished.
Ow. Just gonna wait for this to subside. We haven't gotten very good boons, unfortunately, with this build. It's kind of the issue we're having.
Die. Come on, you flying bastard.
Because, like, to get an optimal build with this, you want to be able to, like, use your Q really, really often, your special. But I just haven't really gotten anything great for a special, unfortunately. Go away, go away, go away! What do I think Broken Realms books in around the Seraphon would look like? Well, I highly doubt it would be centered around the Seraphon, but the Seraphon will hopefully participate.
Should find something good back home.
Unfortunately, as I've been trying my damnedest to avoid spoilers, but like people have been posting Broken Realms spoilers all over like Reddit, Twitter, in my chats. So like I've had one major thing spoiled for me, which sucks, and I'm really upset about it, but it happens, so you know, just kind of have to deal with it. That being said, I could definitely see the Lizardmen getting involved because, or the Seraphon getting involved because like there's some big things happening from Chaos, and at the end of the day, like the Seraphon are all they're concerned with are trying to stick it to the Dark Gods. Like they're. their lore, I actually really like that the Seraphon are no longer like super narratively focused on the Great Plan. I like that right now they are literally, their only thing the Seraphon care about is like punching the Dark Gods in the face. That is their only concern. Is they're trying to find out a way to like kill the Dark Gods. Everything else is secondary. We pretty much have a Dionysus build going, but...
What do we have here?
Well, so the issue with Games Workshop sending advanced products, which I would like to be a part of, the only problem with that is to get on Games Workshop's, like, early list, you can't just make lore videos. That's not going to cut it. You have to make, like, paint videos, gameplay video, like... You need to be a very, very active part of the hobby community, which I'm totally fine doing, but there's just a couple of things that I gotta take care of before I'm really ready for that. Plus, yeah, like, it's something I would like to do, but I'm just not ready yet, is kind of the big thing. Ooh. Ooh. Let's take Sunrush.
Fix that.
Because that's like a really good defensive. Ooh, yes, I will take it to... Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Because there's a good chance I'll run to Patroclus, so I could have just saved my money.
Not for you.
That's okay. Life goes on. Whatever, I guess better safe than sorry, right? I might not run into Patroclus, so...
Fine. Help yourself.
No, collect. Come and get it.
Welcome back, Eldrin. Not that you ever really left, but, you know. Look how naked my build is. If we don't get like a good boon leaving this area, we'll have to well, we don't have to, but we should switch to the artifact for Sisyphus. Because the artifact for Sisyphus makes it where you get like a bunch of bonuses on naked abilities. So we could just run a Sisyphus build. I just wish I had switched to it before this map. Because it buffs your cast, your special, and your attack, which is literally all we're missing.
Good enough.
I need to think about lunch soon. We could go Athena or Artemis. I still need to unlock the ability to give Artemis conversation, but I don't know if she's going to actually talk to us again. See, if I go Artemis... I could get support fire if I go Artemis. So yeah, let's do that.
Soul-sucking butterflies.
Oh gosh, I hate this. When you fight the butterfly with the gimmick I have on, it gives it the ability to teleport around the room, which is just not bueno. I don't know why I turned this ability on. I should turn Jury Summons on. Extreme Measure sucks. Or maybe this one's Middle Management, I forget. Okay, there we go. No, 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 no. Ah, that's weird. Like, sometimes my shield doesn't come back to me. Yes, we did unban the guy who got banned. Or who asked to be banned.
Butterflies. Ugh.
Whoa! All epics. I'll take support fire. Oh, baby.
Artemis, guide my hand.
I just had a really stupid thought. Okay, I'm just, you know what, let's move on. Let's just move on. When he said Artemis guide my hand, my brain was like, heh. It's like, why? Why do I do that to myself? Stretch, I'll do it after this fight. Thank you. Everybody stretch. You have to stretch too, chat. I need a healthy chat.
Lord Poseidon.
No, bad Sotek. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not really sorry. I'm a little sorry, but not super sorry. Hydrate. Ooh.
Something I can use.
You know, I'm actually really glad I added the stretch goal, because, like, it feels surprisingly good to, like, stretch when you've just kind of been sitting.
One of them's not going to like this.
All right, Garanath. Yeah, I'll definitely. I want to run Gunbat tonight, I think. Maybe give me like 2 hours, roughly.
Not yet.
Oh.
Hey, now that is something, yeah.
If this is your idea of humor, Zagreus, then I shall make it clear to you again that I am unamused.
You're not my real dad, Mom.
Dead either way, I guess.
Oh gosh. See if I can lure them in front of. Oh god. Too slow, Athena. Too slow.
You see, I have my father's temper, Zagreus. I am able to keep it in check, though I expect you to do your part.
Do the Seraphons still care about the Great Plan? Yes, kinda. I mean, you have to remember the point of the Great Plan was to protect the planet, which is gone. It blew up. It's dead. So what the Slann have essentially interpreted that to mean now is that their purpose now is to destroy chaos. It's to basically find a way to stay 2 steps ahead of the Dark Gods and destroy them once and for all. That's how they interpret the Great Plan now. Is they're like, alright, if we can't protect the... You know, it's essentially that quote from the Avengers. You know, if we can't protect the planet, you can be damn well sure we'll avenge it. That's basically where the Slann are at right now. Which I like, because it makes them an active race instead of a reactive race.
For me,
Which I think is good.
stronger still.
Patroclus, give me that Death Defiance.
Never quite considered. You're related to the gods upon Olympus, aren't you, stranger? I should be far more careful around you.
What do you mean by that, sir? Though, yes, my father being who he is, it means I have a lot of uncles, cousins, and the like up on the surface there.
Well, you would be wise to watch yourself with some of them, I think. Don't get on anyone's bad side if you can help it. Which, when I yet lived, none of us could.
Do the Seraphon still use the old and very limited spawning pools of fantasy? The Seraphon that are coalesced, so there are 2 kinds of Seraphon. There are coalesced and there are starborn. The starborn are basically the Slann use their magic and their memories of the Lizardmen to conjure Lizardmen armies made out of starlight. So they're literally kind of like celestial demons. They're not actually demons, but like that's a good comparison. But they're literally created by that magic. And they're not creatures of flesh and blood. The Slann like store them inside constellations and have the ability to summon like entire legions onto the battlefield in an instant. And if you play as Starborn, the mechanics of their armies revolve a lot more about summoning and like teleporting units around the table. Whereas the Coalesced are like flesh and blood lizardmen. Like they're old school lizardmen, though depending on which realm they're in, it has an impact on them. So like my favorite faction of the Coalesced are the Coalesced of Gur, because like their Saurus and their monsters have become a lot more like they're not wild, but they've become like a lot more ferocious, and they're bigger and stronger, and they're like really, really scary. But they have spawning pools, though, because the spawning pools were like located within their flying temple cities, so they've had their spawning pools. But what the Seraphon figured out how to do during between first edition AOS and second edition AOS, there was an event called Malign Portents where a lot of story stuff happened. And for the Seraphon, what happened in their story was that a number of the skinks, while the Slann were like meditating and stuff, the skink priests figured out that it was possible to tinker with the spawning pools. So they basically started messing around with the spawning pools, and they kind of sent them into overdrive, and they figured out ways to get them to produce more lizardmen again. So they fixed them. But it had the side effect of the Seraphon that were being produced are a lot more warlike and kind of scary.
Thanks.
Which I really like that. Is there any certain event in fantasy that I hope gets changed / scrapped, not including the end times? Not including the end times.
Just tidying up.
I mean, there are a myriad of events from like certain books that I kind of roll my eyes at. Like the Dark Elf book had a lot of really any boons you find are more potent. Yeah, sure. I mean, I still can get some mileage out of that, I guess.
The power of the gods.
Probably the biggest one is that, I would say, like, the Dark Elf book had a couple of events that I didn't really like because they don't work in the canon. So I would like to see those just kind of.
Left to say to one another, Hellspawn, other than to battle.
I would love to see those kind of go the way of the dodo. Like, there's a story about how the Dark Elves like tricked Karl Franz through a really stupid method, and they like defeated him. Even though, like, one of the major story points of Karl Franz is that he can't always take to the battlefield because of the matters of state he has to deal with. But Karl Franz is undefeated, which is a huge aspect of his story, is that he's never lost a battle. He's gotten close a couple times, but he's never lost. So the Dark Elf book kind of craps all over that, which is stupid. Get rid of Elspeth von Draken. Yes. Get rid of Elspeth von... Oh, yeah, Mydros did call that. Yes, you did. That's actually really funny. I'm trying to think if there's any other ones. I mean, there are things I'd like to see added more than there are things I'd like to see get rid of, to be honest. Like, I really want to see the Chaos Dwarves become more important. Another one is I'd like them to fix the, They gave us a story about the Norskin dwarves that was really inconsistent, because if you read the Warriors of Chaos book, it says that the Norskin dwarves were wiped out, whereas if you read the Dwarf book, it says no, the Norskin dwarves are fine and like they're back because Thorgrim like reconnected with them. So there's like it's like a big disagreement among two army books about which story is canonical. So I'd like them to, like, fix that and, like, explain which one is true. Ow. Because, you know, having a consistent story is kind of nice. Please die. Okay.
Again, you did this to me? Gods above,
Get him, Dionysus! Get him! Yeah.
could you?
Get rid of Gorst? Yes, banish Gorst into the abyss. Honestly, I feel like if we come back to the main storyline, like if Warhammer the Old World ends up being about like Total War Warhammer time period, not like some distant past, I feel like there's actually a pretty reasonable chance that they're gonna like look at all the characters in Total War Warhammer and be like, okay, let's bring back, like, let's just have all these characters. So like Gorst might actually become relevant to the story, which would, in my opinion, would be kind of funny. As much as I hate Gorst, I wouldn't hate him as much if he actually got some lore behind him. Because the only reason I hate him is that he took a slot from a much more important character. You know, the Vampire Counts are like one of the most over-bloated factions when it comes to potential legendary lords, and CA proceeded to like pick literally a nobody.
I'm rich.
Which was just shameful.
Which one first?
Always do Centaur Heart first. Your headcanon is that the Chaos Dwarves only blew up a hold and they thought it was the last one? Yeah, that could work. Franz loses to a corpse card army? Oh man. Rip. Rip. But my immersion. Corpse carts are so sad. They were like actually really, really good in tabletop because they were the same speed